Hello. I'm Dr. Meredith Allen. For over 20 years, I've worked with patients just like you, men and women in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, navigating this sometimes quiet, sometimes overwhelming sea. Some of these changes are expected. Graying hair. Slower steps. More visits to the doctor. But some, no one talks about. Not even to their family. Not even to their closest friend. Today, we're going to talk about one of those changes, personal hygiene after using the toilet. Now, I know, it's not a glamorous subject. But I promise you this, it is one of the most important conversations we can have. Why? Because it's not just about staying clean. It's about holding on to something far more personal. Something sacred. Your dying. As a doctor, I've had hundreds of these conversations behind closed doors, with people who were tired of struggling silently. Tired of feeling embarrassed. Tired of feeling like asking for help meant giving up on their independence. So I want you to know this right now, you are not alone. And you do not have to feel ashamed. In this video, I'll be walking you through why hygiene becomes harder with age, and why it's not your fault. The best doctor-approved tools that make wiping easier and safer. Simple lifestyle tips that improve bathroom routines from the inside out. And finally, how to protect not only your skin, but your self-respect. This is not a medical lecture. It's a conversation between you and me. Just like I would have with one of my patients in the exam room. Let's begin. Chapter 1: When a simple task becomes a daily struggle. Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself struggling to reach when wiping after a bowel movement? Or worried that you didn't get fully clean, but you were too tired or sore to keep trying? Maybe you noticed discomfort afterward, itchiness, rash, even irritation, but didn't connect the dots right away. You are not imagining it. And it's not a sign you're doing something wrong. It's a sign your body is simply aging. Here's what's happening under the surface. Shoulder stiffness reduces your range of motion, making it harder to reach behind. Arthritis in the hands makes gripping toilet paper or wiping painful and awkward. Lower back degeneration or spinal arthritis makes twisting dangerous or exhausting. Muscle loss means you don't have the same core strength to lean, stabilize, or support your weight. Balance issues from neurological or vestibular changes can make wiping while seated, or worse, standing, feel risky. What once was a simple task, done without thinking, now feels like a chore. Worse, it feels like a loss. Many of my patients tell me they've quietly adjusted to wiping less, or skipping certain moments. Not because they want to, but because it's too hard. And over time, this can lead to skin irritation, fungal rashes, urinary tract infections, embarrassment from lingering odor. And perhaps worst of all, the quiet erosion of confidence. I want to stop that cycle. Right now. Because the truth is, your dignity is worth protecting. And there are many ways to clean yourself gently, effectively, and independently, no matter your age or limitations. Let's start by talking about what doesn't work well anymore, and why. Chapter 2: The problem with toilet paper. We've used toilet paper all our lives. It's what we were taught. It's familiar. It's simple. But here's the truth that nobody told you when you were younger: toilet paper was never designed with aging bodies in mind. And here's why it often fails seniors. Friction on fragile skin. As we age, the skin around the anus and genital area becomes thinner, drier, and more prone to tearing. Repeated wiping with dry paper can cause microabrasions that lead to burning, itching, and open sores. Poor cleaning, especially after a difficult or sticky bowel movement, toilet paper often doesn't remove residue effectively. This can leave bacteria on the skin, increasing the risk of urinary tract infections and odor. Poor ergonomics. Wiping requires coordination, reach, twisting, gripping, and balance, all of which can be limited by arthritis, obesity, spinal conditions, or joint replacements. Excessive use. Many seniors compensate by using more paper or wiping harder. Unfortunately, this increases the risk of skin damage, especially in people on blood thinners or with diabetes. So what do I recommend instead? Let me show you some of the most effective, senior-friendly alternatives used by my patients every day. Chapter 3: Better Options, Backed by Medicine and Compassion. 1. Pre-moistened wipes. These are soft, damp cleansing wipes, similar to baby wipes, but made for adults. Why I often recommend them. They're gentler than dry paper. They clean more thoroughly. They reduce friction and minimize irritation. Many brands are infused with calming agents like aloe vera or chamomile extract, which helps soothe the skin. Just make sure to choose unscented and alcohol-free options to avoid allergic reactions. One caution: even if the label says flushable, most wipes should not be flushed. They can clog plumbing and damage sewer systems. Keep a small trash bin next to the toilet with a lid and disposable liners. This setup works well in homes, care facilities, and apartments. For those with extremely sensitive skin, I recommend warming the wipe in your hands for a few seconds before use. 2. Portable bidets and perineal rinse bottles. Let's say you want the freshness of a full clean, without the discomfort of wiping at all. This is where portable bidets, also called peri bottles, come in. What they are: soft, squeezable bottles with a curved nozzle that sprays warm water directly onto your private areas after toileting. Why I love them as a doctor. They minimize skin contact. Ideal for hemorrhoids, post-surgical healing, or incontinence. Great for patients with low mobility or arthritis. They're also inexpensive, discreet, and easy to travel with. You can refill them with clean, warm water before use. I keep one in my clinic bathroom for post-operative patients, and many of them start using one at home full-time. In Part 2, I'll walk you through higher-tech bidet solutions, long-handled hygiene tools, and the truth about fiber, hydration, and how your digestive health affects wiping comfort. Chapter 4: The Rise of the Modern Bidet, Technology with Compassion. Now let's talk about a modern solution that's been quietly transforming bathroom hygiene, especially for older adults. Bidet toilet seat attachments. These are no longer luxuries reserved for high-end homes in Europe or Japan. Today, they're affordable, easy to install, and, most importantly, life-changing for seniors who struggle with wiping. Here's what they are. A bidet attachment connects to your existing toilet and sprays a stream of water to clean your private areas after you use the bathroom. Most have adjustable pressure and angle controls, and some have built-in dryers and heated seats. As a physician, I recommend bidets for many of my patients for one powerful reason: they allow cleaning without touching or twisting. Benefits include: no need to reach around or bend. Decreased skin breakdown. Better hygiene and fewer urinary tract infections. More dignity and privacy for seniors who live alone. Several studies have shown that consistent bidet use reduces urinary tract infections in elderly women and improves skin health in patients with hemorrhoids or incontinence. It's not just convenience. It's clinical. If you've had a hip replacement, back surgery, or just feel unstable when wiping, a bidet may be one of the best investments you make. Practical advice. Basic models start around $50 and attach under your toilet seat. Higher-end models include temperature and pressure controls, costing up to $300 to $500. Electric models may need a nearby outlet. If installation feels overwhelming, a plumber can set it up in under an hour. This is not a luxury. For many of my patients, it's become an essential medical tool. Chapter 5: Toilet aids that give you back your reach. For some people, installing a bidet isn't feasible due to plumbing limitations or cost. That's where toilet tissue wands come in. These are long-handled plastic tools that grip toilet paper or wipes and allow you to clean yourself without bending or twisting. They're simple, low-tech, and surprisingly empowering. Ideal for people with shoulder arthritis, obesity or limited flexibility, seniors recovering from abdominal surgery. You attach a tissue or wipe to the end, do your cleaning, and release it with a button into the trash. It might feel awkward the first few times, but with a little practice, most of my patients get the hang of it quickly. There are even angled versions specifically designed for easier access. Why this matters? Because being able to go to the bathroom without asking for help preserves more than privacy. It preserves your sense of identity. Chapter 6: Full Body Cleanliness, Handheld Shower Heads. There's another tool I recommend for seniors who experience frequent leakage, skin irritation, or incontinence: handheld shower sprayers. Instead of wiping over and over throughout the day, which can cause serious damage to aging skin, these sprayers allow you to gently rinse off from head to toe. Here's why many of my patients prefer them. Adjustable water pressure for delicate skin. Great for post-bowel movement cleanup. Soothing for sore muscles or pressure points. Can be used seated, with a shower chair or bench. Some models include a pause button, which allows you to control water flow while repositioning. It's perfect for those who need to conserve energy or reduce the time standing. When patients ask me if showering after a bowel movement is too much, I tell them this: if it makes you feel clean, calm, and comfortable, it's absolutely worth it. Chapter 7: Rethinking Clean Washcloths and Warm Water. For those who want an eco-friendly and fragrance-free alternative, I often recommend soft washcloths dampened with warm water. Use simply. Wet a clean washcloth with warm, filtered water. Wipe gently until clean. Store the used cloth in a sealed container for laundry. This is especially helpful for seniors with allergies, sensitive skin, or concerns about disposable wipes and environmental waste. Important tip: use white washcloths. Why? So you can visually confirm that you've cleaned thoroughly. Just make sure to wash them in hot water with mild detergent to sanitize properly. Drawbacks: requires more effort to launder. Not ideal for travel or quick public restroom trips. But for home use, it's gentle, effective, and budget-friendly. Chapter 8: What happens on the inside affects what happens on the outside. Let's take a step back now, not just from your bathroom routine, but from your entire body. Because one of the most overlooked solutions for easier hygiene starts inside your gut. I'm talking about fiber, water, and bowel consistency. Constipation is one of the biggest reasons wiping becomes difficult in older adults. Here's what happens when your stool is too hard or sticky. You have to strain more. The residue is harder to remove. You end up wiping more, causing irritation. Cleaning takes longer, uses more energy, and leads to frustration. But when your stool is soft, well-formed, and easy to pass, wiping takes seconds. As a doctor, I've seen patients transform their entire hygiene routine just by changing how they eat and hydrate. Chapter 9: The Hidden Key to Easier Hygiene, Your Digestive Health. Let's take a moment to talk about something that affects nearly every senior I've ever cared for, but often goes unnoticed until it becomes a real problem: constipation. You may not immediately connect constipation with bathroom hygiene. But in truth, they are deeply linked. When your bowel movements are hard, incomplete, irregular, sticky or dry, it becomes significantly harder to wipe clean afterward. What could have taken 1 or 2 gentle passes becomes a long, frustrating process that risks irritating or even injuring your skin. And here's the unfortunate truth: constipation becomes more common with age. Why? Slower digestion due to aging muscles in the colon. Less physical activity, which means less bowel movement stimulation. Medications like painkillers, antacids, and even blood pressure drugs. Dehydration: most seniors don't drink enough fluids. Low-fiber diets, especially when eating becomes routine or limited. Now here's the good news: this is one of the easiest things to improve. Let's talk about how. Chapter 10: Doctor-recommended solutions for softer, healthier stools. I tell all my patients, if you want to make bathroom hygiene easier, start by making bowel movements easier. Here's how. 1. Eat more fiber-rich foods. Fiber adds bulk and softness to your stool, making it easier to pass, and easier to clean up after. The best sources are oats, lentils, chia seeds, apples with the skin, pears, berries, leafy greens like spinach or kale, beans and legumes. Daily goal, 25 to 30 grams of fiber. But start slow. Increasing fiber too quickly can cause gas or bloating. Go gradually, and be sure to pair it with plenty of fluids. 2. Hydration matters more than you think. Water is what helps fiber do its job. Without it, fiber can actually make constipation worse. Ideal intake: about 8 to 10 cups of water per day, unless you have kidney or heart conditions that require a fluid restriction. In that case, speak with your doctor before changing your hydration habits. Tips to drink more: keep a water bottle with you. Flavor water with fruit slices or mint. Drink a glass with each meal. Herbal teas count, too. 3. Get moving, even a little helps. Walking is one of the best ways to stimulate your digestive system. Just 10 to 15 minutes after a meal can signal your colon that it's time to move things along. Even if you're mostly homebound, gentle seated stretches, light leg movements, or using a pedal exerciser can still help. 4. Use fiber supplements if needed. If your diet is limited, or you're struggling to get enough natural fiber, you can use psyllium husk powder, methylcellulose, or inulin-based supplements. Start with small doses and increase slowly. Always take them with plenty of water. 5. Avoid frequent use of stimulant laxatives. Laxatives like senna or bisacodyl may offer temporary relief, but they can cause dependence and worsen long-term bowel function if overused. Instead, focus on preventive strategies like fiber, hydration, and movement. If needed, talk to your doctor about osmotic laxatives like polyethylene glycol, Miralax, W. Chapter 11, Positioning for Better Elimination. Here's something most people don't think about, but that makes a big difference. Your posture on the toilet. Modern toilets are high and flat. But our bodies were designed to squat. When you sit upright, your colon has a kink in it, like a garden hose bent in the middle. This makes it harder to pass stool completely. The solution? A simple footstool. Or what some people call a squatty potty. By elevating your feet slightly and leaning forward, you open up the angle of your colon, making bowel movements smoother, faster, and more complete. This not only makes wiping easier, it reduces straining, which protects against hemorrhoids, rectal prolapse, and pelvic floor weakness. How to do it? Place a small footstool 6 to 8 inches high in front of your toilet. Sit with feet on the stool, knees above hips. Lean forward slightly with elbows on knees. Relax your belly and breathe out as you go. This simple change has helped dozens of my patients feel relief after years of struggling. Chapter 12, When to talk to your doctor. There are times when hygiene challenges may signal something deeper. If you're experiencing painful or incomplete bowel movements, new blood on toilet paper, a sensation of pressure or bulging from your rectum, unexpected leakage of stool, fecal incontinence, changes in color, shape, or frequency of bowel movements, please don't assume it's just age. These could be signs of hemorrhoids, anal fissures, rectal prolapse, irritable bowel syndrome, or even colorectal cancer. As uncomfortable as it may feel, talk to your doctor. You deserve answers. And in many cases, you deserve relief. Chapter 13, The Bathroom Environment, Safety First, Always. Let's step into your bathroom now, not physically, but mentally. I want you to picture your space, the toilet, the sink, the towel rack, the floor tiles. Ask yourself, does this space make you feel safe? Or does it feel like a place where you're constantly worried about slipping, straining, or falling? I can't tell you how many times I've seen patients with completely avoidable injuries just because their bathroom wasn't set up to support their changing needs. The truth is, most bathrooms were designed for healthy 30-year-olds. Not for someone who needs stability, support, and gentle access to the essentials. So let's go through exactly what I recommend to my patients, and to their families, to turn an ordinary bathroom into a space of comfort, confidence, and care. Chapter 14, Grab Bars, the most underused lifesavers in the home. If you don't have grab bars installed near your toilet or in your shower, I urge you to consider them today. Grab bars are not just for hospitals. They are for anyone who wants to stay in their own home longer. They reduce falls. They provide leverage. And they give you permission to move slowly and safely. Where to place them? One vertical bar beside the toilet to help you sit and stand. One horizontal bar behind or beside the toilet for balance. Bars inside the shower for entering, exiting, and standing. Consider an L-shaped configuration near the toilet for extra versatility. Important advice. Make sure the bars are securely anchored into the wall studs. Suction bars are only temporary. If you can, have them professionally installed. Chapter 15, Raised Toilet Seats, because sitting shouldn't be a struggle. Most standard toilets are about 14 to 15 inches tall. For many seniors, that's just too low, especially if you've had a hip replacement, have bad knees, or use a walker. A raised toilet seat adds 2 to 4 inches of height, making it easier to sit down and stand up without straining your muscles or joints. You can also get models that include armrests, which offer even more support during transfers. These small changes can eliminate the need for a caregiver to assist, which preserves privacy and confidence. Tip: choose models with non-slip surfaces and those that lock securely onto your toilet. Some are padded for extra comfort. Chapter 16, Toilet Safety Frames, your personal support system. If installing grab bars isn't an option, a toilet safety frame can be a fantastic alternative. It's a standalone or attachable frame that wraps around your toilet and provides handles on both sides, kind of like armrests on a chair. It helps with stability while lowering or raising yourself, reducing falls during nighttime bathroom trips, giving you something sturdy to hold if you lose balance. Safety frames are especially helpful for patients with muscle weakness, Parkinson's disease, or poor coordination. They're also portable, which makes them a great option for people who travel or rent. Chapter 17, Slip-Resistant Flooring and Lighting, the Unsung Heroes. Now let's talk about two of the most overlooked risks in any bathroom: slippery floors and dim lighting. Falls are the #1 cause of serious injury in seniors, and bathrooms are the #1 location where those falls happen. To minimize risk, use non-slip mats both inside and outside the shower. Avoid rugs with curled edges or loose corners. Consider installing textured vinyl flooring if remodeling. Always keep night lights or motion sensor lights near the bathroom. Make sure your pathway to the bathroom is clear and well lit. One of my patients broke her wrist because she slipped on a damp tile floor while reaching for the towel. Since then, we've added grab bars, non-slip shoes, and a night light near every doorway, and she hasn't had a single fall since. Chapter 18, Sit while wiping, more stable, less strain. Now this may sound simple, but it's one of the most quietly effective changes you can make. Sit while wiping. Don't rush to stand up and twist around. Not only does this reduce strain, but it also improves your stability, especially if you have a grab bar nearby. Many people were taught to stand while wiping, but as we age, standing introduces a higher fall risk, more energy expenditure, awkward posture that increases back strain. So give yourself permission to stay seated. Take your time. Breathe. Use the support around you. You're not being lazy, you're being smart and gentle with your body. Chapter 19, Soft Toilet Cushions, comfort where you need it most. Sitting on a cold, hard plastic toilet seat isn't just uncomfortable, it can cause numbness, pressure pain, and circulation issues, especially for those with low muscle mass or bony prominences. A soft toilet seat cushion can help distribute weight evenly, reduce sciatic nerve pressure, improve circulation in the legs, make longer hygiene routines more tolerable. Some even come with memory foam or gel layers that adjust to your body shape. If you find yourself rushing through cleaning because your seat hurts, a padded cushion might change everything. Chapter 20, One change at a time, small upgrades, big results. You don't have to renovate your bathroom overnight. Just start with what's causing the most trouble. Maybe that's standing up from a low toilet. Maybe it's the fear of falling. Maybe it's just the frustration of not feeling steady while you wipe. Choose one upgrade, a bar, a cushion, a frame, and see how it feels. Often, the first change leads to the second, and within a few weeks, your bathroom transforms from a place of anxiety to one of comfort. Chapter 21, The Power of Adaptive Tools, Designed for Dignity. Let's talk about something that every one of my patients over 60 should know about, but few ever hear of until it's too late: adaptive hygiene tools. These are simple devices made specifically to help people clean themselves more easily, even if they have arthritis in the hands, limited flexibility, back or shoulder pain, balance problems. And I can tell you this: the right tool at the right time can completely transform your routine. Here are a few of the most effective, doctor-approved options. Chapter 22, Toilet Tissue Wands, Independence in the Palm of Your Hand. Toilet tissue wands are long-handled tools that hold toilet paper or a moist wipe for you, so you can reach your body without twisting, bending, or straining. Here's how they work. You fold or wrap toilet paper or a wipe onto the end of the wand. After toileting, you use the handle to gently clean yourself. Most models have a button or mechanism to release the used paper directly into the trash. Why I recommend them? They're easy to use after minimal practice. Ideal for people with spinal fusions, obesity, or frozen shoulder. They reduce the need to rely on a caregiver for personal cleaning. Caution: some models are bulky or stiff. If you have very limited grip strength, look for lightweight ergonomic designs. I often recommend starting with a foam grip handle and a curved extension for better access. Chapter 23, Easy Access Clothing, Dress for Success in the Bathroom. Clothing can either help or hinder you in the bathroom. I've worked with patients who had the strength to clean themselves, but their tight waistbands, complex buttons, or stiff fabric made the process frustrating and time-consuming. What I suggest instead: elastic waist pants with soft, stretchable fabric. Wrap skirts or dresses for women. Velcro fasteners instead of zippers or buttons. Adaptive undergarments with side or tear-away openings. Why this matters? You don't need to fight your clothes just to feel clean. Choosing smarter garments saves time, energy, and stress, especially for people with tremors, hand weakness, or joint stiffness. And remember, dignity doesn't mean looking formal. It means feeling capable in your own body. Chapter 24, Hygiene Routines that Work with, Not Against, Your Body. Some of the best bathroom routines aren't about tools, they're about timing, technique, and mindset. Here are a few strategies I teach in clinic. 1. Wipe from front to back. Always wipe front to back to reduce the risk of introducing bacteria into the urinary tract, especially for women. It's simple, but critically important. 2. Clean immediately when possible. The longer residue stays on the skin, the higher the risk of irritation. If you can, clean immediately after bowel movements. If you need to wait, try to sit on a padded surface and avoid tight clothing until you can wash. 3. Use a hand mirror if needed. If you're unsure whether you've cleaned thoroughly, don't guess. A small handheld mirror can help you confirm cleanliness and spot any redness or irritation early. 4. Apply a barrier cream if needed. For patients with incontinence or frequent wiping, I often recommend applying a thin layer of zinc oxide cream or petroleum jelly to protect the skin. This acts as a barrier between moisture and your skin, reducing the risk of sores and rashes. 5. Don't rush the process. I say this to every patient: the bathroom is not a race. Take your time. Sit comfortably. Breathe. You have nothing to prove, except that you care enough about yourself to move slowly, gently, and with dignity. Chapter 25, Caring for the Caregiver, The Other Side of the Story. Now, I want to speak for a moment to the caregivers, the adult children, spouses, or aides who help seniors with bathroom hygiene. I know it's not easy. It's not always comfortable. It can feel awkward, exhausting, even thankless. But let me offer this perspective. Every time you help someone stay clean, you're not just cleaning a body. You're preserving a person's sense of worth. You're holding their pride and privacy in your hands. Please remember. Always explain what you're doing before you do it. Keep wipes, gloves, and protective pads nearby to reduce mess. Ask permission before assisting, even if they need help every time. Maintain eye contact and conversation, don't treat the moment as mechanical. Give them control when possible, even if it's just holding a wipe or choosing when to start. The way we treat someone during their most vulnerable moments is a reflection of who we are, as caregivers, and as people. Chapter 26, Hygiene is a form of healing. By now, you may have noticed that we're not just talking about keeping your body clean. We're talking about something deeper. About self-respect. About the quiet power that comes from doing something for yourself, even when it's hard. When we lose control of our hygiene, we begin to feel disconnected from our independence. But with the right tools, the right mindset, and just a little support, you can take back that control. And that's what we're doing here, together. Chapter 27, Hygiene is a routine, not a reaction. Too often, we wait until something goes wrong, an infection, a rash, or a sense of shame, before we think about changing how we approach personal hygiene. But what I want for you is a routine. A rhythm. A steady, dependable way of caring for yourself that doesn't depend on emergencies or accidents. The truth is, the most successful hygiene routines are not complicated. They are consistent. So let's look at how you can build a hygiene routine that works with your body, not against it. Chapter 28, Morning Routines, Start Fresh, Stay Fresh. Starting your day clean and comfortable sets the tone for how you feel, physically and emotionally. Here's a simple morning hygiene routine I often recommend. Hydrate first, start with a glass of water before breakfast to wake up your digestive system. Gentle movement, even 5 minutes of stretching or walking helps stimulate bowel movements. Scheduled bathroom time, your body responds well to routine. Try to use the toilet around the same time each morning, ideally 20 to 30 minutes after your first meal. Clean up fully, use wipes, bidet, or a peri bottle to ensure complete cleanliness after your morning bowel movement. Skin check, use a mirror or soft cloth to check for irritation, redness, or new sores. Barrier cream if needed, apply a small amount to protect skin if you're prone to moisture or incontinence. Why this matters? Consistency helps regulate your body. When you know what to expect, you feel more in control. And when your body feels clean, your mind feels clearer, too. Chapter 29, Evening Routines, Gentle Closure to the Day. Even if you didn't have a bowel movement in the evening, I still recommend a light hygiene check or refresh, especially for patients with limited mobility or incontinence. Here's what that might look like. Use a warm, damp cloth or wipe to freshen the perineal area. Change into loose, breathable undergarments or nightwear. Use the toilet right before bed, even if you don't feel the urge, this reduces overnight accidents. Apply any barrier creams or powders if needed. Position in bed with absorbent pads or protective layers if you're prone to leakage. These habits are not just for cleanliness. They are about ending your day with dignity and comfort. Chapter 30, Routines for People with Cognitive Decline. If you or a loved one has memory loss, dementia, or mild cognitive impairment, hygiene can become even more complicated. But routines are your best friend. What works well? Visual checklists near the toilet, e.g., flush, wipe, wash hands. Set hygiene times with alarms or caregiver reminders. Color-coded tools, blue bottle for peri-rinse, white cloth for drying. Familiarity over novelty, stick to the same tools and steps. One of my patients with early-stage dementia improved dramatically when we placed reminder cards with icons and simple instructions in her bathroom. What seemed like memory loss was actually confusion and uncertainty about what to do next. Structure can rebuild independence, step by step. Chapter 31, Keep Tools Within Easy Reach. One of the most overlooked causes of hygiene frustration is simply tool placement. Make sure that wipes, tissue wands, or bidet controls are within arm's reach while seated. A trash bin with a lid is next to the toilet for wipes or disposable cloths. Clean towels or washcloths are visible and accessible. Barrier creams and gloves, if needed, are in a basket or shelf nearby. All electric items, like bidet controls, are plugged in and working properly. If your tools are hard to reach, they're less likely to be used. And that leads to skipped steps, rushed cleanups, and poor outcomes. Chapter 32, Don't clean alone, if you don't have to. Now, I know the whole point of this video is to help you stay independent. But I also want to say this clearly. Needing help doesn't mean you've failed. If you have limited mobility, struggle with tremors or vision, have recently had surgery, feel unsafe cleaning yourself, then consider asking for help with the setup, not just the act. That means having a loved one prepare your supplies, asking a caregiver to warm up wipes or fill the peri bottle, letting someone double-check your safety tools once a week. You can still maintain privacy while accepting assistance. Independence isn't about doing everything yourself. It's about having choices. Chapter 33, Weekly Hygiene Maintenance, Set a time. Aside from daily routines, I recommend a short weekly check-in to make sure your hygiene setup is working for you. You can do this on a Sunday evening, for example. Are your wipes or cloths fully stocked? Is the trash emptied? Do you need more barrier cream? Are your tools clean and functional? Do you need to reposition a grab bar or replace a non-slip mat? One of my patients said this weekly review gave her a sense of control she hadn't felt in years. It turned hygiene from something reactive to something intentional. And that's where you find dignity, in the decision to care for yourself, on your own terms. Chapter 34, The Shame No One Talks About. Let's pause for a moment. We've talked about tools. We've talked about techniques. But now, I want to talk about how it feels. Because behind every hygiene struggle I've seen in clinic, every rash, every rushed cleanup, every late-night fall, there's often something even deeper. Shame. Shame that your body doesn't work the way it used to. Shame that something so private has become so hard. Shame that you might need help for something that once took seconds. I've had grown men cry in my office because they felt like they were no longer a man after needing help to clean themselves. I've had women whisper through tears that they avoid hugging their grandchildren because they're afraid of smelling bad. And I've had caregivers confess that they feel guilty for being impatient during hygiene routines, because it's awkward, messy, or time-consuming. Let me say this clearly. You are not alone. And you have nothing to be ashamed of. This isn't a personal failure. This is a universal part of aging that no one taught us how to face. Until now. Chapter 35, You Are Not Broken, You Are Adapting. One of the most powerful things I've learned as a doctor is that resilience doesn't always look strong. Sometimes, it looks like trying again. Sometimes, it looks like asking for help. Sometimes, it looks like learning to do something differently. You are not broken because you need a tissue wand. You are not weak because you installed a bidet. You are not helpless because you switched to wipes. You are adapting. And adapting takes courage. In fact, I've come to believe that adapting is the most underrated form of strength. Chapter 36, Reframing Hygiene as Self-Compassion. What if we stopped seeing hygiene as a chore? And started seeing it as an act of love? Not vanity. Not obligation. But care. Pure and simple. Taking time to clean your body, gently, thoroughly, and with intention, is an act of saying, I matter. My comfort matters. My dignity matters. You're not just removing waste. You're restoring your sense of self. Chapter 37, The Role of Routine in Emotional Safety. Here's what I tell patients who feel overwhelmed. Don't focus on doing it perfectly. Focus on doing it consistently. Consistency creates trust. Not just in your body, but in your relationship with your body. It teaches your nervous system. You're safe. You're cared for. You're not abandoned. Even something as small as wiping with a warm cloth every night can become an anchor, something that tells your mind, I'm still me. Chapter 38, Connection as a Source of Strength. Sometimes, the only thing harder than facing these challenges is feeling like you're the only one facing them. But I promise you, you are not alone. There are communities of older adults talking about hygiene. There are online forums, caregiver support groups, and social spaces where these topics are being shared honestly. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is suffering silently. You don't have to tell everyone. But telling someone, a doctor, a friend, a spouse, can break the isolation. It can start a conversation that leads to real change. And it can remind you, you are still whole. Still valuable. Still worthy of care. Chapter 39, Speaking Kindly to Yourself. Before we move on, I want you to reflect on this. How do you talk to yourself during difficult moments? When you struggle to clean, do you say, I'm disgusting. I'm helpless. I'm a burden. Or do you say, this is hard. But I'm learning. I'm doing my best. I deserve compassion. Because how we speak to ourselves becomes how we feel about ourselves. So from this moment forward, I want you to practice this phrase. I am adapting with grace. Repeat it as often as you need. Especially in the hard moments. Because the truth is, you are. Chapter 40, From Awareness to Action, You Have Options. If you've made it this far, I want to take a moment and acknowledge something important. This conversation isn't easy. Not for me to say. And certainly not for you to hear. But you stayed. You listened. You faced a part of life that many people avoid for as long as they can. And that tells me something. You're ready to take your dignity back. And now, you have the tools to do it. Let's take a moment to review what we've learned, together. Chapter 41, The Hygiene Toolkit, a recap for your real life. Physical tools. Pre-moistened wipes, gentle, effective, and simple. Portable bidets and peri bottles, no bending, no friction. Toilet tissue wands, restore reach, reduce strain. Bidet seat attachments, transform your toilet into a clean care station. Handheld shower heads, for full body rinsing with comfort. Raised toilet seats, grab bars, safety frames, support safety and ease. Lifestyle habits. Morning and evening hygiene routines. Fiber-rich diet and hydration for smoother stools. Gentle movement to stimulate digestion. Footstools for better bathroom posture. Weekly check-ins to replenish and refresh your setup. Emotional tools. Speaking to yourself with kindness. Reframing hygiene as self-compassion. Connecting with others instead of isolating. Allowing help without shame. Adapting with grace, not guilt. You don't need to apply everything all at once. But every single change, no matter how small, is a victory. A choice to honor your body, your needs, and your well-being. Chapter 42, Aging is not losing, it's learning how to live differently. Let me share something I often say to patients who feel like aging has taken too much from them. You haven't failed. You've changed. And that's not the same thing. In your 30s, maybe you did everything quickly. Now, you do things intentionally. In your 40s, maybe your body responded with strength. Now, it responds with wisdom. You are still you. You are still valuable. You are still in charge of your story. And if hygiene has become a challenge, it's not a sign that you've lost control. It's an invitation to rewrite how you care for yourself, with patience, with creativity, and with profound self-respect. Chapter 43, Dignity is built on small moments. In medicine, we talk a lot about the big milestones, diagnoses, surgeries, medications. But after 20 years as a physician, I'll tell you this. The most important moments, the ones that truly define our experience of aging, are small. The moment you install a grab bar so you don't fall. The moment you wipe without pain. The moment you look in the mirror and feel clean again. These are the moments that rebuild dignity. They may be quiet. They may be unseen by others. But they matter. Because you matter. Chapter 44, You're not alone, and you never were. If there's one message I hope you carry with you from this video, let it be this. You are not alone. Millions of people, men and women just like you, face the same struggles every single day. Most just don't talk about it. But here, on this channel, we do. This is a place for honesty. For solutions. For support. So if you're caring for yourself, if you're caring for a loved one, if you're adapting to a new body, a new routine, a new normal, I want to say, you're doing beautifully. Not perfectly. But beautifully. Chapter 45, What happens next? Maybe your next step is ordering a tissue wand. Maybe it's drinking one more glass of water. Maybe it's asking your adult daughter to help you install a bidet. Or maybe, it's just looking at yourself in the mirror tonight and saying, I'm learning. I'm adapting. I'm still me. And that is more than enough. You've already taken the hardest step, admitting the challenge exists. Now comes the step that feels better. Choosing your solutions. And you don't have to do it alone. We'll walk with you, one tool, one tip, one routine at a time. Closing message. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this video helped you, if it gave you relief or confidence or just a little clarity, please consider subscribing to this channel. Share it with someone who might be struggling silently. Because the smallest tip can bring the biggest comfort. And you deserve to feel clean. You deserve to feel strong. You deserve to feel at peace in your own body. At any age. Always. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.